The movie begins by showing a planet called Capellion, which is located very far from Earth. The planet is inhabited by only one person, a convict named Theodore, who was sentenced to life imprisonment. Every day, Theodore goes through a strenuous routine as part of his sentence, living in suffocating solitude in a barren and desolate environment. Every day, Theodore is required to work for 8 hours collecting stones that will later be transported by a special aeroplane. The planet Capellion itself has a rotation time equivalent to 14 hours a day, giving Theodore 6 hours to rest. He lived in a small cabin lit only by a single lamp on the outside. His life was so miserable that he felt like he was dying. Today, at the age of 70, he has served 26 years on the planet alone. Theodore's routine is monotonous. Having just fallen asleep, he has to wake up immediately to get back to work. Food is delivered only 3 times a month, and don't expect to get meat, as his diet consists of bread. If he tried to leave the cabin outside of the permitted time, an alarm would sound, warning him to return to work. His physical condition and health deteriorated, and the television shows he watched were always the same, repeated every day. Theodore was arrested for premeditated murder and, sadly, became the first person on the planet to undergo a punishment trial. To survive, he occasionally utilizes a small garden as an additional source of food. For the past 3 years, Theodore has been a D5 prisoner, a special classification indicating that the prisoner is not expected to survive long. When a prisoner was dying or died, a new prisoner would be sent as a replacement. Sure enough, the next day, a plane was seen landing on the planet. Theodore, overcome with curiosity, observed from a distance. From the airship, a new cabin carrying a woman was seen. Wanting to confirm the woman's identity, Theodore sneaked up on the cabin at night. When the woman fell asleep, Theodore sneaked in secretly and stole her notebook. From the notebook, it is revealed that the woman is a convicted terrorist, a crime even more horrific than the premeditated murder case that Theodore is caught up in. Long story short, the scene switches to the day before the arrival of the female prisoner on the planet Capellion. She is taken on a special plane and finally arrives at a cabin that will be her forever home. A sense of confusion envelops her as there is nothing on the planet that can support life. After a moment's hesitation, she finally got the courage to open the cabin door. For the first time, she stepped out and stepped on the surface of the planet. Her gaze fell on an area near the foot of a mountain, which appeared to have been explored by someone she didn't know. Later that night, the woman realized that someone had entered her cabin. The next morning, she began her first day as a labor prisoner. With no direction or help, she was confused about where to start and went back and forth to the mine shaft endlessly. In the evening, the woman came to Theodore's cabin with a knife, angry that Theodore had secretly taken her notebook. Days passed, and exhaustion began to chip away at the spirit of the woman who was later revealed to be Nia. However, one day, she found a scrap of paper in a stone carrier that bore an invitation from Theodore. Though initially dismissive, Nia continued to think about Theodore's intentions, especially as she began to feel the need for company on the desolate planet. By nightfall, Nia decided to fulfill the invitation. In his cabin, Theodore had prepared a meal of vegetables from his garden. During their conversation, Theodore revealed that as the first prisoner on the planet, he had been told that his job was to build a new life there, including forming offspring. However, for 26 years, he lived alone without the presence of anyone until Nia came as the second prisoner. Nia herself was convicted of terrorism, which she did to vent her frustration over the deaths of her mother and older brother. As Theodore fetched drinking water from outside using a bucket, they continued their conversation and shared stories. Nia learns that Theodore is the perpetrator of premeditated murder. That night, Theodore turned on the television with the same broadcast as usual. Surprisingly, Nia seemed happy because she didn't have a television in her cabin. Theodore and Nia's togetherness made them lose track of time until there was only an hour left to get ready for work. From then on, they no longer went about their work alone. The presence of two people made everything easier, and time passed quickly. However, Theodore secretly knew what he had to do. Before Nia arrived, he had been told one important thing that prompted him to make a surprising decision. Without warning, Theodore hit Nia from behind with the intention of knocking her unconscious. However, his attempt failed. A shocked Nia immediately tried to hide and wondered the reason behind Theodore's actions. It didn't take long for her to learn the shocking truth. As it turned out, Theodore was the perpetrator of the murders that claimed the lives of her mother and older brother. This fact made Nia's anger peak. If she had known from the beginning, Theodore would not have been allowed to live this long. In a panic, Nia fled the cabin, seeking safety on the barren planet. Meanwhile, Theodore, overcome by uncontrollable desire, pursues her. While seeking refuge, Nia stumbled upon another cabin that she had never known about before. She quickly entered and hid inside. From her hiding place, Nia managed to hit Theodore from behind, leaving the old man helpless. Theodore's attempt to raise offspring on this planet came to a tragic end after Nia learned that he was the killer of her family. The next morning, Nia sat pensively in her cabin, wondering what she should do. On the one hand, she was disgusted and wanted to bury Theodore in the mine area. But on the other hand, she realized that without Theodore, she would be alone forever on this alien planet. In his indecision, Theodore made a final offer. He was willing to be finished off as long as he could have offspring first. Seeing the offer as a solution to not living alone forever, Nia finally agreed to the idea. On the last night, they carried out the plan, and the next day, Theodore was declared dead. From then on, Nia began to think of the Capelian planet as her new home. She believed that sooner or later, the loneliness on this planet would end. The sun would no longer shine on her alone. The vast, empty land will one day be filled with new life, bringing hope in the midst of emptiness. And so the movie ends.